your TikTok needs to go viral. The only exception to that is when you're targeting who actually shop and buy and search on TikTok currently. I've wasted tens of thousands of pounds on branding and not realizing that this won't convert for me in the same way as advertising, say, on Amazon's platform.
Would actually look to TikTok for their product search as well, because that's the platform that they live on. Hey squad, quick side note. We know that more than 80% of you are not subscribed. The more people who subscribe, the more content we can create for you. And the happier we'll be here. Hey beautiful people, welcome to Upside, where we talk all things marketplaces. There has been a lot of talk around TikTok. And what we're going to know is, are you missing out or is it all hype? All right, guys. So we've taken a little peek up that little TikTok kilt, and we want to tell you about what we saw. So, Zamir, what did you spy with your little eye?
Well, I have to say I wasn't too impressed with what we saw.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of padding?
Okay. All right. Tell me more. Unpack that. Unpack the padding.
All right. Here's the thing, right? So specifically, we're talking about TikTok Shop, and we're talking about converting and selling on it on TikTok.
All right. So not the bit with the reels and the dancing.
No, not that. But specifically about businesses being able to convert and sell. There have been some amazing stories, right? So we hear, and they are genuine stories. Sellers selling huge quantities of goods really quickly on TikTok, and this does happen. However, that's the story we always hear, and we don't necessarily see what comes after that and what's happening behind that.
All right. Okay. So tell me more.
Okay. So one of the biggest issues is consistency. And you know how important that is in business.
Oh, in many things in life. Yeah.
So fundamentally, in order to sell a large quantity of products really quickly, your TikTok needs to go viral.
Yeah.
And doing it once is quite challenging, quite hard. Not everyone manages to do that.
Yep.
Repeating it is even harder. Generally, what we see as a trend is people go on, have this viral sensation, sell out of all stock, then get very excited, tell everyone about it, and at the same time reorder stock for the next hit. And often that doesn't come, because what happens in between, as soon as they sold out of stock, someone jumps on the back of that, on the bandwagon, creates a lookalike product, lookalike TikTok, and that takes over once the first one has sold out. By the time the person comes back with their new stock, often they just struggle. They struggle to sell it. They struggle to go viral a second time.
Okay, fine. And so building a consistent business on the back of that is very challenging.
Incredibly so.
Okay, fine. Okay.
But that's not necessarily what upsets me the most about it.
Okay, tell me about what really grinds your gears.
I think it's the data. So we know that we're working with a lot of brands that look at the data think, wow, look, we've had 2-3 million impressions.
Yeah.
But hold on a second, we're only getting 5 sales? How does that even work? And this comes down to the fact of what's considered as an impression. So under their visibility score, an impression, in essence, if a reel is seen or a TikTok is seen less than 0.01 seconds.
Literally, you blink.
Just scroll right past it. It still gets counted.
That counts as an impression.
Yeah.
As though I'd seen the whole thing.
Exactly. And that's what I think a lot of people aren't understanding. If you go back into the data and look at the dashboard,
that's pretty poor.
The bit that you really want to look at is your average view time. And so again, you've got sort of like 2-3 million views, but average view times of less than 3 seconds. And that's down to the fact that people actually aren't seeing it. And I think that definition, there's a big problem with it. Actually getting down to the number of people that are engaging with your content is very difficult. You can only see it actually on a view by view basis. So in my view, TikTok are kind of hiding that.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah. The kilt.
I mean, for me, that kind of signifies sort of small dick energy.
No one likes that. All right. So fine.
Well, as well on that, so TikTok allow third-party softwares to connect through APIs to access metrics such as the views, the likes, the comments.
So, okay.
But
you can't, all right.
You cannot access retention metrics. It's completely locked off the API. So they are technically, you can see it, but it's harder at least for the lazy people to see.
Well, and the reason for that, I think, is simply because if it was any good, we'd be seeing it. It's been hidden on purpose.
Okay, fine. Interesting. And we're big data is important, right? So I think I concede that point.
Incredibly so.
Data, that's fine. But I kind of going back to the other point about consistency.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on virality, yes, I agree. But I think you can do it because you can build a business around some of the other bits together. So actually, I've got 2 points on this. One is that point around building a business using the full part of the TikTok platform, which is essentially having your store page. You've got the search functionality elements.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the affiliates part and I don't know why other platforms in Meta don't do that, but affiliates where you pay a commission based on sales. So people actually incentivized to sell rather than just put a post up and walk away. And then there's the final part, which is like this QVC equivalent where you're selling live. And people have built whole empires off the back of QVC, Spanx being one, right? So it can be done. It's doable. That's my first point. Second point is this way up. We kind of view D2C and selling online not as little individual silos where you've got one marketplace and next marketplace and your website and the other bits. But instead, it's like a whole funnel and where all the different bits fit together based on your company, but they fit together to build a beautiful mosaic of something else where your Amazon strategy talks to your website strategy, which talks to Walmart, which talks to Citrus, which talks to TikTok. And we've seen in the data that TikTok works really well in the education side. So getting your brand in front of people and getting those likes, but then filtering through, once they get the awareness and people are open to it, you get spikes on the other platforms, right? You get a spike on the Amazon side, you get spikes on the website side. That stuff happens too. So it can work as education at the top, sales at the bottom, and the parts talk together. So maybe not hype.
I think the point you're making there is it fits into this overall picture of multiple channels coming in together and a coordinated strategic view and plan, in which case I agree with you totally. It can work. From a branding perspective in particular, the only exception to that is when you're targeting that demographic who actually shop and buy and search on TikTok currently. So my point here is if you're targeting that, then the rules are slightly different. But for a lot of people, just doing it in isolation, it is a branding exercise. And for me, I know as a seller, I've wasted tens of thousands of pounds on branding. I'm not realizing that this won't convert for me in the same way as advertising, say, on Amazon's platform, where people are actively searching and looking and waiting for something to come to them. They want to buy. On TikTok, people generally want to be entertained. That's what the mass audience is doing.
But this is what I'm kind of unsure about, right? Because you and I are both over 40.
Yes.
I'm only just over 40. But, and like, hashtag Peter Pan for life, right? But I feel that there's a whole demographic closer to Leon and around that would actually look to TikTok for their product search as well, because that's the platform that they live on.
And it's extraordinarily competitive. And so all of those things from an awareness perspective are really key. And even within that demographic, we know that the majority of them still go somewhere else when they want to buy. So while some of them are shopping there, not all of them are. Here's the point I'm making. If that's not your core demographic, then definitely you should be thinking of another channel where you maybe want to sit and work for yourselves, be it your direct to consumer and Amazon and other marketplaces. But here's what, even if it is your core demographic, I would say if you're not on Amazon, if you don't have D2C, you're definitely also missing out on conversions.
Okay, fine. But I kind of go back to what we always said to brands, which is choose a marketplace based on your customer.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to the other point as well, which is it should fit into your broader e-commerce strategy, not just be the only one that you do, because I think that's a bit risky if you're trying to build a business, especially with the consistency stuff. Like many things in life, it's about how you use it.
Absolutely. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on this, right? And I think it's really important, been dissing TikTok, but ultimately it's a phenomenal platform.
Yeah.
Phenomenal platform for what it does really well, which is very much around entertainment. It keeps people's eyes on it so well.
And giving you that exposure and those 7 or 6 hits of interaction. So when someone does switch over to your market,
they'll recognize the brand. Yeah, 100%. But again, you can't, I think this is the other point. I know we're not sitting necessarily as a generation that uses the platform, but what we do is sell on it. And you maybe, yeah, absolutely. But I know that
I signed up 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
The key thing here, I think, to understand is we know the data. We know brands that are selling on it. You have to create content specifically for TikTok and for a TikTok audience and how they engage. Stopping that scroll is incredibly challenging.
Yep.
And the message you get across generally can't be about conversions. Has to be in some way entertaining.
I think it always does. You still need to engage your audience.
Are you saying regardless of platform?
Regardless, yeah. Even if you're on like doom scrolling on Instagram, it's still the same thing.
Fair point. But if you are running an ad on Amazon, which is very different, then you're probably going to be much more around just looking at your education and your USPs, right?
But Amazon's very different. We're different part of the funnel.
And this is the key thing that I think just needs to be got across. Is it's a different part of the funnel. You're trying to do something slightly different here. My concern is that whenever TikToks talk about TikTok Shop and how the platform is working, they're saying to it, well, it's just like Amazon, right? Or it's just like it's your website.
It's not. And
it's not like that. And again, this is where the disingenuous part comes through. They're very good at certain points, not so much on others.
Yeah, that dirty data thing gets me. I think that's a big part of it.
It's something that everyone has to be wary about. And ultimately, they're missing some really key points, right? They're trying to, on the packaging and delivery side, they're trying to compete, but they're nowhere close to it. We know that.
Yeah, Fulfilled by TikTok exists. And
it's not comparable. We know
not yet.
It's not.
It could be later though.
Only if they manage to scale hugely. But and the reason why I say that with such reticence and not sure on it is the next part. There's no social proof, right? There's no review system. There's nothing there for consistency, for quality, holding people to account. There's no way of people to go, hey, this was a great purchasing experience. I recommend you to buy this one versus another one that's been a horrible experience. And there are a lot of horrible experiences out there. If you look and see data and reports that's coming back anecdotally, generally about 25% of purchases people are not happy with. Until that's resolved, it's not going to be a viable competitor to a channel like Amazon
or Walmart
or Citrus or even D2C websites. And so ultimately, it's great for views and entertainment, not so great on the conversions. And personally, if I was seeing something going viral on TikTok, I'd probably set up a D2C Amazon store, Walmart store that will capture the purchases that will inevitably come off the back of TikTok when people not trusting that platform are looking for something similar, but something they can trust.
Cool. All right. So could help you grow, but they're not showers.
Well, I think it's what's useful for people to take from the conversation you guys are having is about getting their mindset correct for using TikTok. So we agree there is potential there to be used in a specific way, but it's just about accepting that just like any other marketplace or any other platform, it's going to be an investment and knowing what you're investing in. So you're not investing in conversion, you're investing in awareness and engagement.
I think that's the key thing, right? Is know what you're getting, understand it's an extraordinarily strong platform, but not necessarily in the areas that they suggest.
So it is a shower, but not a grower. Okay, fine. Well, with that, guys, we'll wrap it there. One love.
One love.